to avoid being forced into first picking it in case one of the OPs is open, or maybe like, again, a Graves or something we look at from other teams. But because Vitality just first bans the Varus, Misfits kind of get another ban. And I actually think that is a little bit of a misstep from Vitality. They could have delayed that Varus ban.
And this is really interesting as we see. You can see Vitality trying to take away some of the picks that made their last game difficult. And this means that a lot more powerful picks, potentially OP picks, will be available. Nautilus taken off the board. Never do we see that really banned away. LeBlanc taken away as well.
Yeah, so what Misfits is doing now is they remove LeBlanc to secure a one-for-one trade at least. So now if Vitality ban either Rengar or Camille, they end up giving Misfits the other one without getting anything in return that is considered one of the 3 OPs. So that's why Misfits ban LeBlanc and say we prefer Rengar here, or we prefer Camille. Now both are open, so this is what Vitality of course had to do. Just make sure to get a one-for-one. And then they can also get a second pick on red side. And I think this is something we start seeing more and more of. We saw it even on 7.2, especially over in Korea. SKT did it quite a bit, where you on red side, you force the blue side to start banning out some of the OPs and then trade one-for-one.
This is a terrifying spot to be in because Misfits get their hand on Rengar. Absolutely one of the most powerful junglers. We haven't seen him yet on 7.3 because he's been banned.
Now, if you're Vitality, sorry to interrupt.
Camille LeBlanc.
You take the other one, which is a Camille in this case, and you go Ivern. Ivern is the European pick against Rengar. And that means, you know what? I'm not that sad that I lose this extremely powerful jungler, because there are still other junglers available. This is a Jayce, though. It looks like they don't even want to play Camille at all. I still think Ivern would be good here.
They could still take both, technically. We could see Jayce in the mid lane, Camille in the top lane, but we almost never see teams give away both of their solo lane picks.
Well, let's remember Camille can be flexed around. We've seen a mid, we've seen a jungle, we've seen a support. If they do take it, I have not seen a team get Rengar and Camille. We have to remember as well, though, nerfs have happened on this patch to a lot of these champions. They are not as strong as before, but they're still very, very good. And this is really an interesting pick and ban phase with Vitality not taking the Camille, potentially giving it over to Misfits, or it might fall further through.
Waiting, baiting their time. Neither of these teams have had this much power in their draft. Vitality's been allowed Camille once before, did not work out for them. Misfits pick up Camille. I think the first European team to get Camille and Rengar
100%.
In the same draft.
They can still go Malzahar if they want to lock in one of their very powerful supports. I mean, obviously, they're Lulu picks and Tahm Kench against them Malzahar if they take it now. AD carry-wise, you actually don't need to pick an AD carry here because Varus is already banned. So you're going into the second tier of AD carries anyway. And that means if they start banning Caitlyn and Sivir and everything, there's still like an Ashe you can pick and you are fine.
Vitality taking the time on this next rotation. We're going to find out where this Jayce will go. And it looks like it's going to be Jayce in the mid lane coming in for Nukeduck.
So basically now, Vitality have shown the top lane matchup, Camille versus Poppy. Vitality will most likely start banning out AD carries and pinch that, even though they can also ban mid laners with the Jayce. But I don't think that's necessarily that strong. I would ban Sivir. If I'm Vitality, I think Sivir actually works well against Jhin.
I think additionally, we have to take into account the fact that the remaining options against Malzahar are very limited, and Misfits can take those away. The Tahm Kench, and when you look at this composition, Malzahar is going to push his butt. Press R to win. Camille and Rengar can follow up immediately, and they can kill anyone. And we don't see an Ivern yet in this draft. There's no Karma. There's nothing to protect the squishy members on the side of Vitality. The Poppy maybe going to buy them a little bit of time in fights, but it's very dangerous.
I like this Zilean ban here because everything on Misfits' side at the moment is just single target nuke. Like Camille picks one target, Malzahar picks one target, Rengar picks one target, and you kill that guy. Zilean could be the guy to stop you from actually doing that. So banning him is smart. Lulu might be the other ban coming in, which is one of the very traditional counter picks to Malzahar. But also Tahm Kench, as you highlighted, because Devour is also extremely powerful against Misfits' composition. So there are two supports they could look at. Ashe ban is actually something I do not agree with. I think Sivir is going to be more than fine for Misfits. And Sivir also works extremely well with things like Rengar, Malzahar for the catch potential, even Camille with her insane mobility already. I would love to see that pick from Hansama, but he might just be a naughty boy and play Draven like he did last week.
See how he adapts to pick and ban phase. Vitality have jungle. They have AD carry left, or not AD carry, rather, support left, 4 potential lock-in options, and they're going to give Djoko his chance on the Lee Sin. Going into the Rengar matchup, this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I really just can't agree. I think Ivern here would have been a great choice. I understand.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I said it, naughty
Deficio
boy.
said Hansama's a naughty boy. Draven, naughty champion for naughty people, I guess.
Could have just played the Sivir for your team, but if you are really good at Draven, if you already won a game on him, you played it against Jhin last time, he clearly likes this matchup, it's up to him. But I think there's a lot of picks here where it comes down to comfort more than anything for a lot of these guys. Where like, if you actually look at him and you don't necessarily build the perfect composition, but in terms of comfort, you get some key picks.
Well, comfort is the story for AOD as he picks up the Nami once again. But someone stepping out of their comfort zone is PowerOfEvil, getting his hands on the Taliyah, a champion he has yet to play this season. And this is 2 games in a row where he's played something new.
And it's gonna be an explosive Misfits composition. You have like 3 lanes that are fantastic to just snowball. Bot lane with Draven, we've seen it before. You have Malzahar ulti level 6. Roams from Taliyah to impact both top and bot lane. The best jungler, the best top laner as well. Like, I feel like almost no matter who gets the kills on the side of Misfits, they're happy. Like, every single member right there can have insane impact on the game. And Nami coming in from AOD, again, the comfort pick for him. But playing Nami against Taliyah, Rengar, I'm going to say no thank you right there, because you're going to get camped and you have nothing you can do against it.
Tidal Wave not going to be enough. But if you're still holding on to hope, at LO Esports, hashtag VIT win if you want to put your vote for Vitality, hashtag MSF win if you got faith in the Misfits, and if you're expecting another clean game to come out from them. Now, I'm not expecting a clean game from Misfits. I'm expecting a bloody game. Now,
we said that last time.
I'm hoping for a bloody game. I am praying
yes.
for a bloody game. I want to see this comp, or either comp, pop off. I want to see some action.
And even without the Sivir, we got the Draven, as we mentioned, making that Ashe ban like really just almost irrelevant.
Moving forward, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2. It took 28 minutes last time for a first blood.
It won't happen again.
It's not going to happen again.
Come on.
I believe.
We have never seen that before. I remember a game in London, in Wembley, we played like 3 years ago, my first year as a caster, where no one did anything. And the crowd got so mad, they just started screaming at the players to like start fighting. We're not going to get that again. Like, that's the last time I remember a game where just nothing happened.
I'd ask kindly that you do not scream at the players. That is poor etiquette.
Oh, man, that one guy, the quote is still in my head. I can't say it on air, sadly, but that was so funny, man.
Sure, you can all imagine. It involves expletives and really wanting to see fights. But I think we are going to see some fights. Draven, a champion that not doesn't need to snowball, but finds such strength when he does. Such an aggressive early carry. And
yeah, that's actually like a very normal misconception when it comes to Draven. Like, some people still think that Draven is all about just dominating early games, just like destroying your lane, and then suddenly you just take over the game. But actually, no, it's all about just literally sitting and stacking up, get your Ghost Blade, and then suddenly you hit this big power spike, and you can actually start cashing in.
I'm going to be honest, Deficio, that does not sound like a bloody bot lane to me. That sounds like a lot of farm.
Well, yes. You also want level 6 in your Malzahar. He's early trading, has been nerfed a bit with the Voidling nerf.
Okay.
So bot lane on the side of Misfits are going to be fine farming for level 6. Bot lane on the side of Vitality, Steelback is going to be okay with it, but AOD, he's going to start sweating up there. He's going to start seeing that level 4 Malzahar, level 5 Malzahar, level 6 Malzahar. Then he's going to click tap, and he's going to see Ghost Blade on Draven, and then he's going to get 2-shot. So it's not going to be fun for AOD, but everyone else is kind of like, all right, cool. I've been here before. I've tried this. This man is a rookie playing his first series on stage, and he's getting put on Nami again.
Yeah, because keep in mind, I mean, AOD's experience comes from the Challenger Series. He has not had an opportunity to play on the LCS stage. He gets his first opportunity mid-split and going up against an insane lane to play against.
And the last time AOD actually played Professional League of Legends, Hansama was 14 years old. So he obviously didn't get to play against him in the Challenger Series a whole lot. Might have made him in solo queue. But now AOD is trying his luck. He wants to really lock down that support spot on Vitality. And it's a tough first series to really show what you can do.
And it's not AOD that lost in the last game. It was mistakes in every lane. If the team fell apart, and we're going to have to see if we get the same level of performance coming in from Misfits this time around. Already pressure in the bottom lane. Top lane trades look relatively fine for now, but junglers, once again, have to be where we keep our eyes. The Rengar continuing his full clear on the bottom side, and Djoko really looking to find a lead on top.
Yeah, I feel like Djoko is the man who needs to get the lanes going, especially early when Rengar won't gank. He's looking at top lane, but it can be very difficult ganking Camille because of her E, but this time around they get a flash.
Of course, Poppy does have the ability to cancel out the dash, and the skill is very telegraphed. So Alphari not going to opt for the wall dive out. It's not realistically an option. One of the strengths of that matchup.
An interesting mid lane matchup where for Jayce, the actual all-in is going to be strong for him, also with exhaust. But for PowerOfEvil, he doesn't need to all-in Nukeduck at any point, honestly. All he cares about is mid lane push into roams to the side lanes with Taliyah. Like, it's one of the things I really like about her. It's the way she can just impact the entire map so effectively, and she can push the waves in almost any matchup. So in that regard, she's kind of safe. But obviously you have to respect the potential all-in with the jungler showing up. But every mid laner has to respect that. So I think if you are playing with Camille, if you're playing with Draven, you have two very clear champions that you want to get rolling. Taliyah is perfect. Twisted Fate, another pick that can help really push these side lanes and get them ahead.
That's Twisted Fate, a pick we saw a lot more of in NA, have not seen here, but Taliyah, once again, waiting for that level 6, as is the break point in almost each and every one of these lanes. Some quick trading on the bottom side, not going to mean too much.
Oh, the sick 3-6 Rengar gank. Hi guys, I'm here to push the wave.
And take a minion.
Oh, look at that nerfed Q range. That was one of the things we touched. The thing about Rengar is, you know, we nerfed a lot of abilities, no CC immunity. Very important to highlight. It was one of the huge things for him.
You still have the cleanse though.
Yeah,
not the follow-up CC
That's
immunity.
Fair. That's fair. But still, after, like, you just couldn't really keep him down. That is gone. But we haven't actually nerfed his damage. Because then it's like the range on his Q that's been nerfed, and the duration of his ulti has been nerfed. Which means he still has that potential to dive your AD carry and kill him in like 2 seconds.
It's a little less than 2 seconds.
All right,
if I know
1 second. 1 second. Djoko is trying his hardest to snowball the lanes.
Flash forward. Does get a flash out in the end. So support flash for support flash. Probably a positive trade for Vitality for now. But if that flash is still down when level 6 hits, it could be a big issue for the team overall.
Well, for both here, KaKAO is going to hit level 6 relatively soon. IgNar won't get his by the time KaKAO has it, but Taliyah ulti plus Rengar ulti is enough to kill the no-flash Nami. Guarantee first blood for Draven, most likely. And then suddenly, pressure on the bottom side. It's going to be much like the last game right now, Drakos, where this bottom side of the map is an easy gank target for Misfits, a very easy way for them to get the advantage in the early game. And once again, you have this kind of lineup from Vitality where they want to be able to send Nukeduck to a side lane, so you can push out the side lane. Then he roams in and groups up with the team, and you have the siege comp with Jayce and Jhin. But if you start falling behind, Taliyah will just match the push, and she can use her ulti. You can't as a Jayce.
This feels so difficult for Vitality because they couldn't find anything last game. Misfits slowly, steadily snowballed, but they don't have late game assurance once again.
Djoko is trying again, though.
Alphari
no level 6 for him.
Level 6 is available for Cabochard. Alphari has to try to find a way out. He may get taken down. First blood drops for Djoko, and that's a great start.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need. We highlighted Djoko, said it was important for him to make some plays in the early game, get these lanes going. I think Alphari was actually walking out to place his ward just when Djoko showed up around the corner. That's why Alphari stepped away from the tower. Instantly just went down. Constant mind games of delaying their E of Camille with the W from Poppy.
Oh, poor KaKAO. That does not work anymore, my friend. No longer actually going to give you a net movement speed boost.
So I think he's actually moving down. His ward is ready at this point. He knows the wave is crashing in. Actually, never mind. He just sees Djoko instantly. Should have stayed on the tower, but what Alphari is trying to do, he's trying to stay away from walls. So he's like, get away from tower, get away from the wall on the left, the wall on the right. Sadly for him, it's still too easy for Vitality to kill the no-flash Camille.
And this is really an opening that only exists while Camille is level 5. So once she's level 6, she can use the ult, and the ult functions like a Fizzy, like a Vlad pool. It has that brief moment of invulnerability, of untargetability, where you can dodge and get out of just about anything and mitigate a ton of incoming damage.
Still, good for Vitality. They need more, though. They need way more. Because we have 6 on Rengar. We have ulti on Taliyah. AOD has no flash in the bottom lane. It's a very easy gank for Misfits to execute. But again, they have this kind of comp where they're fine waiting for these ulti. They're fine waiting for the correct opportunity because it will appear at some point. Like, they will get a chance to combine all the ultis and just kill whoever they want.
Djoko looking to kill someone before Misfits get the opportunity. IgNar is going forward. Doesn't see that the Lee Sin is here. Now pulling back. No level 6 for the bot lane yet.
Djoko has ulti as well. Now KaKAO is nearby. TP coming in.
Maybe looking to find a play here. They're going to ult to try to go all in here. Poppy's on the backside. Hansama running for his life. IgNar gets shot. Cabo flash forward, knocks him into the wall. Hansama set to fall. He's going to drop. IgNar, will he be next? Dodges out the bubble. The KaKAO is on the way in. Does get hit by a nice shot, though. Is going to stop the advance. KaKAO could be next. Waiting, backing up. Has to flash to safety. That is a beautiful fight.
Taliyah's coming. Taliyah's coming. Where's the wall from PowerOfEvil?
Waiting. Wall goes in. Who's going to get cycled out? No one.
Very late from the PowerOfEvil here. Needed to get in range first, though.
And I mean, this is good. This is great for Vitality. You said you wanted more, and they got more there.
Now, meanwhile, the bot lane fight happened. Nukeduck died as well. Didn't get to see where he actually died, but was just against both Alphari and PowerOfEvil near the mid lane.
Well, Alphari's ult is down, so I'm going to assume that involves the ult.
I'm sure he just roamed down and ulted on Nukeduck, so PowerOfEvil probably knocks him back now. Yeah, okay. Nukeduck not respecting the potential roam from Camille and ends up dying instantly. Like to set up bot lane though with TP advantage from Vitality. Good response from Malzahar trying to clear out the wave with the Draven ulti as well to see if they could get a bit of extra damage on Vitality here.
And these are kind of the big things. These are the fundamentals we were talking about. We thought Vitality might be lacking, but they're showing us more this game, and it's already a much better look. Now, they're not out of the woodwork yet. Gold is still just about dead on even. The main matchups don't have that big of a lead.
No, I mean, Djoko has been a good early game jungler every week so far. Like, his kill participation is extremely high in the early game. He's picked up a lot of first spots on his own as well. This kind of game on Lee Sin, he's doing his job in terms of trying to really snowball the lanes. Sadly for him now, he has to see this bot lane tower fall. Top lane tower going down as well, but it will be in favor of Misfits. First tower, extra gold from them, and a good rotation.
Not going to be a massive difference here, but they are now set up to take the dragon if they want it. Cloud, not all too crucial, but still a good benefit.
They might go for second turret here, because they're really far ahead on the play, and the wave clear is just a Poppy, so there's nothing Cabo can do to stop them.
And there's 3 AD threats pushing this down. Camille has a Sheen as well. This one's going to drop. This is a massive increase in tempo for Misfits. And what looks like an even trade to start off for Vitality turns against them so quickly.
The problem for Vitality is just the swap into top lane is so difficult when the enemy team has things like Camille that can auto, Q, auto, Q, auto. That's 5 super quick hits on the turret. So she's extremely strong at just rushing down towers. Alphari was already in the bottom lane after he had made his little gank in the mid lane. He was already down there. So when they actually swapped to top lane, it was just a few seconds later than Misfits. Sadly for them, it cost them now 2 towers.
All the pressure lost on the bottom side of the map. AOD not comfortable roaming quite yet. It's joining Steelback as he pushes this wave forward. We start to track the mid vision. We can see Misfits have control of the bottom side.
And it was just a really smart and quick adaptation from Misfits. Like, Alphari saw that the 2 guys were top lane, instantly just went straight back down to the mid lane. Hansama had already pushed a wave in, so they were just ready to like match this push. Looking for a pick now. Let's see if they're spotted by anything.
Oh, Control Ward will spot them out as they come in. TP's going in behind. This could be a big fight for Misfits. Waiting on the ultimate. Where's the Weaver's wall? KaKAO goes forward. Steelback goes out. PowerOfEvil flashes over the tidal wave. That's beautiful. Wall goes forward. AOD not going to find comfort in the Misfits jungle. He gets locked down. He's set to fall. Hansama cashes in, and Misfits find a kill in the mid lane.
Misfits, they wanted so much more. They invested teleport. They had the ulti from Rengar. They were collapsing on 3 members from Vitality. But good escape, honestly, from them. In the end, AOD dies. Mid tower, Cabo.
Trying to find a way to disengage. Don't think he can hit everyone. Takes the Rengar out. Alphari still on the front line, still ready to go in. Vitality once again starting to bleed, starting to lose objectives across the map. 3K gold lead 12 minutes in. The snowball just Vitality, I mean, they find early openings, they find early opportunities, but it's just not enough.
No, it was the swap bot lane with Alphari. They gave 2 towers for Misfits, open up the map. They have a ward placed deep here they used to teleport to. And look how they're actually collapsing onto everyone. I wonder if KaKAO could have waited. Seeing as the only way out for Vitality is if actually KaKAO jumps to them and they didn't flash over the wall. If he was able to wait, but maybe his ulti was running out very soon. AOD goes down, and I think in the end, if you're Misfits, you're happy enough. Draven gets the kill, you get mid tower as well, and you keep your fairly large goal lead.
Good to see. Misfits continue to dominate here. Vitality makes some solid moves of their own, but not quite enough yet. Now they're not out of the game. They're losing control very, very quickly.
Yeah, and now the problem for Vitality is the fact that Camille, on 2 items, can beat almost any tank in a split push, because then she has enough damage to kill them, and her damage on structures are just insane, as you highlighted, because of the fact the Q works on these towers here. Taliyah will always be able to match the Jayce in her side lane. Just play it safe, sit back, don't have to risk any fights, just like push the wave, and then have your ulti. So it's going to be really difficult for Vitality to really use the side lanes to win the game. And Jhin alone in mid can't really do a whole lot. So playing the actual map is fairly difficult. Now, right now, PowerOfEvil is respecting the fact that Djoko could have been bot lane to dive him, but he has his wards in place and he can now clear the wave.
Cabo moving forward, doing what he can to clear the wave. PowerOfEvil combined with the ultimate coming in from the Draven.
And these are the small things that we have to just praise. A lot of people will just walk straight onto that tower as Taliyah and be like, yeah, I'm just going to wave clear. Djoko shows up, bang, you're dead. Tower is gone. Misfits, they call for Draven ulti across the map. And PowerOfEvil places 2 defensive wards before he steps forward. So, if Djoko was there, he would have been spotted. PowerOfEvil wouldn't have died, and tower stays alive. And so often do we see people just ignore the fact the jungler could be there, risk it all, die, and lose everything. So just a smart little play. Small things, again, for Misfits, but smart plays.
Overall, Misfits still with a very commanding lead, and not quite as clean as we saw last game, but still very much in control. Alphari a little hungry for blood here, maybe looking for the bait in. Does just hook shot over, wall dives out. In comes the tidal wave, someone's gonna get knocked up. IgNar uses the void shift to block 1 shot. Alphari's been singled out, looks like he may go down. Alt to try to block the damage, but he's just buying time for the escape. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, though, PowerOfEvil has started to push forward, and Vitality need to make a move to respond.
Well, PowerOfEvil won't be able to do anything here because the tier 2 tower is already dead. Good response top lane from Vitality. They're trying their hardest to just defend. They're reacting to the plays from Misfits. I think Misfits gonna be annoyed they didn't get that tower. Need a few more hits, but the wave died due to Cabochard and Nukeduck and his wave clear on the Jayce. In the end, though, 1 kill for Vitality, Dragon for Misfits. Always the problem when you're this far behind, is you feel like you get something.
It's always just a trade.
It's always just a trade. It's always just a trade.
Moving back, out of movement speed, combat, or out of combat movement speed. Wow. Oof. Gonna be not too crucial, but always nice to have. And take a look at it one more time.
So, if you're Misfits right now, you're operating without proper knowledge of where everyone from Vitality is. That's why as soon as IgNar steps in and they call him back, he's actually getting caught. And Alphari ends up dying for it. Because in the jungle of Vitality, there were no wards other than 1 control ward being placed by Misfits. So they didn't actually know how many members were topside to defend. And they just went on to step 2 instead of doing step 1 first. And that's why Vitality gets a kill.
Well, now not only do they have the opportunity to find the setup,
they're still gonna get top tower. So in the end, they win out because they get Dragon and they get the tower. Nukeduck has been laying some good shock blasts.
Alphari not going to take the risk, doesn't want to force the fight. No ultimate available quite yet, but Misfits grab that tower, and now Djoko's on the bottom side. But the vision laid down by PowerOfEvil earlier ensures that Alphari can see it coming.
Exactly. This was the play Vitality could have done earlier that PowerOfEvil was respecting.
Oh no.
Djoko coming down.
There's 2 members of Vitality on the bottom side, but there are 4 of Misfits on the top side. Not a whole ton of tools here in the Vitality toolkit to respond to this. Enough wave clear from the Poppy keeps them away from now, but they have to play safe.
I mean, with Jayce bot lane without teleport and Lee being spotted, Misfits could have played more aggressive here. Could definitely have gone for a kill. Even just the Poppy with every ulti in the book, especially from Malzahar. I think you can at least force Cabochard off the turret, but they played safe again, slow and steady. Don't want to risk it. They get the Rift Herald. Important that Nukeduck gets bot tower, though.
They will eventually get the Rift Herald.
They will get it. It's slow and steady again. It's fun, though, because it's really hard to kind of point out the ways back in the game for Vitality. Because so much involves like Nukeduck winning the side lane on Jayce. Almost everything involves that. Because if he can actually push out side lane and roam, Vitality might be able to set up that siege in the mid lane with Jhin, Jayce. Problem is, Misfits should have ways to always start a fight. Flash engage for Malzahar, Rengar ulti, Taliyah wall. Like, there are a lot of ways for Misfits to kind of set up a potential fight or threaten it, and stopping Vitality from being able to siege now that Vitality is behind in gold.
You can see the total damage numbers Delta champion. Malzahar and Jayce competing for top. Not surprising to see the Jayce up there, but Malzahar having a little bit larger impact than we often see here in the early games.
Look at the build from PowerOfEvil. This is the I'm not gonna die against Jayce ever build. He's against a lot of physical damage, so the Hourglass makes perfect sense. And I know there's a mixed opinions between the Hextech
and the early Morellonomicon, but I like it. It provides a slow, makes it easier for teammates to land skill shots. Additionally, you don't have to be the big damage threat as Taliyah.
No, you have Camille, Rengar, Draven. Even Malzahar, as we just saw on the graph before. So it's like, yeah, the GLP Hextech here is the, I need instant HP, a little bit extra utility, and I sacrifice a bit of damage in the long run because I don't get like the same amount of cooldown reduction and so on. But as you said, you have a ton of damage on this team. PowerOfEvil is technically a support in a sense here. He's trying to facilitate the other carries by him pushing out a lane and then using his mobility to create a pick.
It's working well so far. 1-0-1 his scoreline. Sizable CS advantage over Nukeduck. Almost 30 at this point in the game. Pretty good to see. Around the 20-minute mark. We'll pick up another blue buff and just continue to pressure out across the map. Once again, Misfits in the driver's seat. Absolute control of the game so far. And a 4K gold lead just makes it too easy.
And now that all the outer turrets are gone, we get the same thing we got in the last game. We've gotten first blood in this one, but last game again, it was slow mid-game. Wait for Baron to spawn. Wait for your team to be strong enough to take the Baron. Set up the Baron. Start fighting around the Baron. This is basically what we're looking at right now. So, for the next 5 minutes, you might not see a whole lot of action because Vitality can't really force it, and Misfits don't want to force it.
Next Drake is a Mountain Drake, though. So whichever team takes that may have an easier time forcing these Barons in the future, may be able to burst it down. With so many AD threats, Vitality definitely have to respect the potential of a Baron, but have decent vision in their own jungle and should feel comfortable warding the pit. And realistically, 20 minutes is just not going to happen.
No, and these full AD comps, they're really hard to play because lethality, while it is fantastic right now, is still very weak against armor stacking teams. So it loses a lot of value when you have so many physical damage dealers that the enemy team will go Ninja Tabis, Hourglass, like a lot of early armor items.
I mean, we have triple Ninja Tab
here. It really cuts into the value of lethality, and that makes then the Jayce a bit weaker and the Jhin a bit weaker.
And the thing is these lethality items, they're so great because you pretty much spike on every single one, and it just increases your damage output nicely. You don't have to rely on those late game crit items, but the downside is those late game crit items are really, really good if the game is going to go long.
And that's the thing, Camille will get 2 damage items, then she will get like Randuin's, Guardian Angel, like she's gonna hit that 170, 180 armor point as well. And then she won't really feel too much from your lethality. Jhin is already not the best like tank buster in the first place, unless he goes for the IH build, where the crit really matters against the tank. But with the pure lethality, well, it's obviously based around the squishy targets. Nice!
Weaver's wall, Nukeduck caught out. He's gonna get locked down. That's a quick pickup for Misfits, and now Baron might be in their sights. Or not.
Well, they're going for it. Let's see what they used. They used Taliyah ulti, Rengar ulti, Malzahar ulti, Draven ulti. So 4 big ultis gone. Alphari still has his. One thing he can do is he can jump out and ulti Djoko to make sure he can't steal the Baron. Misfits are setting up for it.
Nobody gets something. Djoko not spotted out quite yet. Curtain call going in. 3K ever lower. Djoko, can he find the hero moment? Alphari caught on the front side. Misfits are pulling back. They don't want to risk the 50-50, and KaKAO Just gonna encourage them to head back to the base.
All right, so to start the Baron, they see the reaction from Vitality to play it safe again. No one wanted to jump out and actually try and take down Djoko. Great setup from PowerOfEvil though. And this is where I think with the supports available, like Tahm Kench and different things, the Nami just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And I'm not saying here any support would have saved Jayce, but we see how much single target CC and nuke there is for Misfits. Some other support options could have been very impactful here.
Well, we highlighted the other option is Lulu as well. Very similar in the early lane bully that it can provide. Very good against Malzahar and not picked up by AOD. I mean, once again, we haven't seen this guy play in so long. Maybe Vitality are kind of forced into picking what's comfortable for him.
Most likely the case, and they value that over what is perfect for the comp. It's a good discussion. We had with Sheepy yesterday, something Unicorns of Love like to do as well, like pick comfort over necessarily pure meta, specifically.
You can't play an S-tier champion at an S-tier level. It's not really an S-tier champion.
Yes, it's a very good point. And if you can play a champion that the other team maybe aren't too familiar playing against, not Nami in this case, but like other picks in the past.
Draven, potentially.
Draven, potentially, yeah. Then you might actually get a bit of an extra advantage coming in from that, because they don't 100% know your exact damage output when you're super strong.
And I think it must always be a tough debate for teams, as we see Misfits start with the Dragon here. Personal comfort or raw power. Djoko does get locked up. That means the Dragon's going to drop. Oh, that's a ton of damage from Alphari. Djoko's going to fall. Wall is there to stop the advance. Good tidal wave from AOD to stop anything else.
It's the same thing. Like, it's hard, you know, to really get super excited, because it really is just these like very small spikes in the game. Dragon is alive, set up Dragon. If they show up, get a kill, get Dragon. Go Baron. Do the exact same thing as we saw in the last game. So this is not going to be the series with the most kills, but it is going to be a series where Misfits again gets to show like the more clean understanding of how to actually execute your composition, how to play out the mid to late game.
Well, now once again they're setting up around the Baron. Believe it or not, I think we've seen this before.
Have we, Drakos? Have we?
Maybe once or twice. Oh, KaKAO moving forward onto Nukeduck. This is the alternative version where someone gets caught and Misfits take down Nukeduck, and now the Baron looks a little bit easier.
It's like Vitality has not seen this movie yet.
Moving forward, Alphari locked down AOD. There's one drops, two set to follow. Misfits, they don't even need the Baron now. They can take whatever they'd like.
This is like every horror movie ever. Like, when they sneak up, the music is playing this little scary sound, and the guy's about to open the door. Yes, the crazy guy is right there. Problem is, Vitality doesn't seem to respect that, and they get shocked anyway.
Vitality doesn't watch scary movies.
Apparently, they do not watch scary movies at all. Because we've seen all this before. And it doesn't really surprise us anymore.
Oh, Djoko locked up again. Alphari, are they going to be able to knock him out? Yes, but it's not enough. Cabo could be next to fall. Misfits now trying to break the inhibitor line as well. 3 healthy members, 2 at about 50%, and it's just all too easy. Nukeduck comes in, though. Curtain call on the side. Who can they block for? Alphari leaping to safety. PowerOfEvil not even going to be in trouble. Ball goes out, but the Shock Blast not even empowered.
And they can back away. They can look at Baron. They can look at top inhib. So many different calls for Misfits to make, and it's going to be the same setup we just saw now. Play around top side, create a pick, take the Baron, win the game. And then if you're Misfits, you can go into this IM week where you have more time to practice. They're obviously not going to play the IM Katowice, and they can feel great because they have really done everything they were supposed to do.
The only team they've lost to thus far is G2. I mean, just fantastic to see. We'll still have to play H2K, Unicorns of Love, in the future. Maybe not so easy to keep up that record then, but for now, looking like a confident team, especially such a young team too.
I mean, that's going to be the interesting thing. You know, I'm going to say they've been like lucky with their schedule in terms of this cross group play, because again, they had Origin, then they had Vitality, and they had Splice. But at the same time, with the way they're playing, I'm sure they're ready to take on the other 2 teams as well. Another week of practice, though. Another week to scout both H2K and Unicorns might benefit them a lot.
Teams who will be playing on stage.
Exactly. They will be showing. They will be showing everything at IM. They don't have the same time to sit and scout Misfits and come up with strategies against them specifically.
European teams battling for international prestige may cost them. When it comes to a bit of this domestic competition, we'll see how much Misfits can learn. But This is the point where it starts to get really scary. This is the second damage item you're talking about from Alphari, that Titanic Hydra, and now the tank build's starting to come out, and he was already hard enough to kill, and it just only goes downhill from here.
I want to talk about wave push. Did we kill that in the last game?
I think we killed that in the last game. We got like an audience of 100-something people, almost 200 people to cheer for mid lane push, and that is like the peak I think we're ever going to get for macro.
I was so proud. Because it's so boring for a viewer to keep hearing how important mid lane push is, but it is just so important.
I like how we're like, okay, we've killed this, let's not talk about it, and then you're like, let's talk about it.
They're on Baron, Drakos.
Nah, they want it. Lee Sin maybe trying to find a way in. It is just going to get burst down, though. Nice communication coming in from Misfits. Nukeduck looks to get over the wall with a shock blast, but nothing's going to happen.
I just love their Barons. Jungler jumps in, they literally stop DPS on Baron instantly. There's not that one guy who's like, oh, I'm just giving it a few more hits, you know. No. Instant stop, kill the Lee Sin. Still 2k HP on the Baron. Then we take it down and KaKAO can smite it. Like, they're so good around Baron. Djoko has definitely been forcing the team into like practicing these Baron plays.
It's looking good, slow and steady, baiting it out time and time again. And there's no scaling component here. Their late game backup.
Is fine. They're gonna win late game, so it's not even a problem.
I mean, that's the thing. There's no Sivir win condition. There's no crazy late game scaling kind of rise damage output. It's absolutely brutal, and oh, that's the classic use of the wall.
I like that. And then it's like, oh, Djoko, beat a hero. Oh, never mind. Nukeduck even flashed in to try and actually.
Yeah, Vitality don't watch a lot of horror movies, but they watch a lot of action movies. They were expecting their moment right there. When the hero is down,
we hit a ding, and
the bad guy's beating him, and he has that moment where he turns it all around. This is not that moment. No, the Misfits are just crushing them. 13k lead. Maybe they'll stop for a couple seconds to go get a cloud.
No, because
maybe not.
Yes, last game they did take that time, but like this game, the lead is almost bigger. They have like fed Draven, fed Camille. I say fed, she's 1, 2, and 4.
PowerOfEvil has a Magi Soul Stealer in a competitive game.
Yeah. I was about to say, you know, Camille is fed just because she's on 2 items and she's Camille, so it doesn't matter what a score is. And then, yeah, PowerOfEvil is being a beast.
Curtain call. Misfits start to realize that it doesn't do quite as much damage as they expected. IgNar does take a lot from the Shock Blast in the end, and Misfits move in to take their first inhibitor. Eyes on the second one as well.
And at some point, if you're Vitality, you gotta man up. Just get in there. Like, you're not gonna win the game by watching them take every single inhib down. If you don't try and all-in engage, at some point, then Misfits will just slowly grind it down. They're gonna win the game.
There is a ward in the brush. Perhaps we can see the TP flank from Cabo. Maybe something.
Just try. You didn't try last game, you lost. This game, you tried in the early game for like, 5-6 minutes with Djoko, where he was actually doing a fine job. Then Misfits took down 2 towers in the bottom lane, and literally just picked off Vitality left and right.
Well, Cabo.
I guess he's zoning.
I mean, the Keeper's Verdict has been used consistently to disengage. Once for a kill. 1 kill, 1 aggressive use. Since then, just to knock Misfits away, just to hold Misfits at bay, to keep the hope of Vitality alive, but this is a terrible way to lose a game of League of Legends.
Yeah, it just feels bad. It just feels bad, because you're like, as a player, you never feel like you can do anything in a game like this. You just feel like the game is lost almost instantly.
Oh, Alphari goes forward, knocks up. He is going to use the Hextech ultimatum. KaKAO's going crazy on the backside, but Draven's going to grab the kill onto Nukeduck. Steelback trying to get something back. The wall in. They're not even going to make it into the fountain. Djoko has to flash to safety. Misfits in absolute control, and it's just an absolute slaughter. Slow and steady wins the race, 9-3 in kills, and a 2-0 series for Misfits means they're going to close it out with a perfect week.
Too early, man. Now they want to fight on the side of Vitality when they push all the way down to the fountain.
Just does not matter. 2-0 for Misfits. Clean games, clear calls. At the end of the day, it's just beautiful to watch.
Fantastic to watch Misfits play right now. A lot of problems still for Vitality, and honestly a series where Misfits probably didn't even really feel like they were challenged at any point. Like, very reactive play on the side of Vitality, even when they were far behind. They kept trying the same thing, and Misfits never really gave them openings to get back in the game. Like, that's what you see around that Baron, where they stop DPS, kill Djoko, bam, take the Baron.
Well, the thing is, we talked about these compositions in both games. Whoever finds a lead, a big lead, at any point, is going to win the game. There's no late game win condition here. There's no stall out. It's all about the early game.
I definitely agree on the first game there. Second game with the Camille Rengar combo.
Okay,
I'm kind of like, okay.
Okay, a little more late
right.
game there, yeah.
All right, but still, like with Misfits, it was also like, yes, technically the Vitality comp could get an early advantage and try and like snowball, but again, I never saw the lane where they could really get that huge advantage. And when you play against both Camille and Rengar, you're putting yourself in a really, really tough spot.
And this is something that teams have experimented with before.
But then they trade them. You get one, I get one. Not, oh, you get both. Take the entire cake yourself. I don't want anything. I hate cake.
And the thing that frustrates me is that I understand the Poppy. We saw Poppy be very effective against Rengar.
Yes.
But where's the Ivern? Where's the shields? Where's the tools to protect your team? Where's the scaling? Where's the trying to out-comp the enemy instead of trying to outplay the enemy?
Yeah, because the strategy against Camille Rengar have been like, let's draft insane team fight, not fall too far behind early, and then have like, yeah, the shielding comps, and like Rengar can't kill anyone, Camille can't really kill anyone, and then try and win the game like that. Or it's been the, let's camp the Camille with a carry ourselves, like Fiora or something, and try and shut down Camille, and then we win the split push. This was a Poppy picked into it, which made sense, so they couldn't really gank that lane properly. They got one kill up there, and that was it. So they couldn't like put Camille all the way in the dumpster. Bottom lane, they didn't have a winning matchup specifically. The Nami did nothing for them. So it's like, where are you snowballing? Like,
it's so hard to watch. I feel like I'm not going to say that Vitality made big steps or big leaps in progress today, but I will say that I hope that they stick with something. I hope that it is this lineup, and I hope that they give themselves an opportunity to grow here. Because
give yourself time.
Yeah, give yourself time. Don't be too hard. You had a rough series. Just stick together as a lineup and try to progress more.
And obviously, if you are Vitality, there are still hopes when it comes to playoffs. Splice is 3-3.
Yeah.
They're now 1-5 on the side of Vitality. So there is a chance you can end up going up when you start playing them again in your group. You can then start tying them. Definitely. There's another match against Origin for Vitality. We expect them to win that one. That's another victory. So there is still a chance for playoffs. But if I'm Vitality, then my #1 goal is just to make sure I don't get number 5 in the group. I don't want to get relegated. I just want to stay for sure. And then you can have that dream of playoffs. But with the way the team is right now and all the problems they've had in this spring split, playoffs probably won't even benefit them.
And it feels rough, right? Because you don't want to condemn a team to relegation this early in the split, but we're halfway through now. However, we've talked a lot about Vitality, a lot about Misfits, but let's get a little bit of a winner's perspective and send it over to Pyrotechnics, who's sitting by with the Misfits bot lane.